hate to say it, I started rooting for Joe. Because Joe in the movie, we get this great, he's this steel worker. Yeah, he's the steel worker. I will do everything to make my family succeed.
Good, including child abuse.
Yes, but like it's complicated and like fascinating and up. Whereas like the Michael character is really just playing with some animals, doing a dance. Again, he doesn't really have any goals or motivations.
Hello, welcome to the Kinolime Podcast. We're here today. Today's a joyous day because we're talking about one of my favorite movies of the year. Your film, One Battle, ain't got nothing on Michael.
That's so embarrassing.
I'm just kidding. Welcome everyone to the Kinolime Podcast. John Schramm here, Danny Murray. We're going to be talking all things Michael. It's dominating the conversation, the zeitgeist. I can't wait to get into it. I clapped at the end of this movie. Danny, spoiler, hated it, shocker, but we're going to get into it because I think it's a healthy debate. This really, for all you screenwriters at home, this is one of those movies that you can learn so much from. I learned very early on to watch the bad movies, and we're going to talk about whether this is a bad movie or not. But there's so much you can learn. So before you dive into this podcast, if you don't want spoilers, go see Michael. Don't tune out. Watch it anyway, but go see Michael first, then come back and watch this amazing episode. D, we're just going to get into it because I think there's a lot to unpack here. Mm-hmm. So the verdict for me, I'm going to start, since I got the mic here. I really enjoyed Michael. Now, I'm very divided on Michael. I'm not talking about subject matter. I'm talking about as a film.
Yeah.
Because I've seen this trend. I feel like biopics is really the question I want to pose today, and maybe Ron's going to pull a little thing right here, is are biopics still considered movies? I think that's a really interesting topic because I don't know. I mean, what is a movie? I mean, we can go deep now, but I really enjoyed this experience. Let's call it an experience, okay? Because it's very, very different than the traditional musical biopics that we're going to get into. But I, for one, really enjoyed the Michael experience. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, when you called me about this last week, so for reference, the one saving grace about John loving this movie is that, he loves it because it allowed him to be 12-year-old Long Island Johnny again, like doing a little moonwalk in the first row of the theater. And he got to be happy and be like, I'm still 12, that boy is alive, look at Michael Jackson.
I'll explain, that's not it, but I'll explain.
Which is great. He didn't love it as a film, he just loved the feeling it gave him, which, I think comes down to what we're talking about today, which is like, this movie did incredibly well, and if you loved Michael Jackson...
Not just incredibly well, it's dominating, it's pandemonium, it's people are, I mean, they had the record Tuesday after, fourth ever of all time. I mean, it's insane the numbers it's doing. So it's not just the fans coming out to support it opening weekend. People are coming back, whether it's the fans that repeat or word of mouth, people are showing up to the theater on a Tuesday to see this film.
Yeah, because, it kind of touches on like why these movies do well, right? It's like, again, it is just baked up nostalgia that like every person that was alive in the 80s has been like waiting to kind of soak in.
I mean, we did have the Jacksons, the Dynasty made-for-TV movie that came out back in the day that people still hail as the best biopic, but we're not going to get to that. I'm going to ask you, Danny, we're just going to get into it. Are musical biopics still considered movies?
Well, yeah, I mean, they're still movies, and there are still good ones, but yeah, largely the ones that see wide release. Again,
we're talking about the Bohemian Rhapsodies, the Ray. We're talking about even Walk the Line, which I love very much, and that's on the fence for me. But it's just become a Wikipedia article with the greatest hits interspersed.
It's like what Michael was, if I could get a bit into the structure, right? Like if you watch the movie, again, it's essentially just like 4 succeeding scenes in a row leading to a big operatic like Michael Jackson concert, which is Joe gets angry at Michael is lonely and sad, Michael plays with an animal or a kid in the hospital to remind you that actually his only real reference of kids is like really positive and awesome. And then he meets an executive that is played by a celebrity And then he says, "You got the stuff, kid." And then he gets a bigger show. And then he performs. That happens 4 times and the movie ends. There's no real conflict. There isn't. There's no
I really push
larger
back.
argument.
I mean, so what I took out of this was, this is about a guy, a boy, a performer trying to break from the constraints of his father, who is trying to control his career. Like, you clearly see the passion that the character Michael had on screen for wanting to go on his own, and like what that's like, having your brothers, you're carrying the weight of the family, and that third act climax, spoiler, is like him telling his dad, finally, this is the last show, I'm gonna go on my own, which was like, now you could say it's a little bit of fluff, it didn't go deep enough on stuff, but I mean, there was an arc, right? But there was an arc. How could you say there wasn't?
I don't know if I'd say there was an arc. I would say there was like a loop. I'm not sure I'd say there was an arc. Because it's not like the stakes were raised.
Timid, but it's internal stakes. And this is like, I think, very important to look at. It's not just like, oh, if I don't do this concert, my family's going to go bankrupt. It's like, I'm going to disappoint my father. Mm-hmm. I'm going to disappoint my brothers. I can't bring that on my family. That's a huge weight.
It should have been. I agree.
Now, it could have been better, sure, but it's there.
It's not there. Like the brothers, we don't actually hear, again, we don't have a moment with any of the brothers. They're more of just like this mass of like, they're usually throughout the movie like playing some sort of sport. Like every time we see them like playing basketball, they're in the pool, they're doing something without Michael. That's part of like Michael is lonely. Like after Joe whoops Michael or yells at him, Michael walks outside and sees his brothers hanging out without him. That happens like 4 times. I agree. I wish there was some sort of internal conflict, this like greater motivation. It's like supposed to be, I want to be the best ever. But because like Michael's not really struggling with anything throughout the movie, in at least the way he holds on to, I started, I hate to say it, I started rooting for Joe. Because Joe in the movie, we get this great, he's this steel worker. Yeah, he's the steel worker. I will do everything to make my family succeed,
including child abuse.
Exactly. He's like, I will strip myself of everything I could be, so that so that this family
I don't think he's stripping
can be everything it can be.
I mean, he saw a boy, he saw an opportunity to exploit his children.
Yes, but like it's complicated and like fascinating and fucked up. Whereas like the Michael character is really just playing with some animals, doing a dance. Again, he doesn't really have any goals or motivations. He doesn't.
His goal is to become a solo artist. I mean, it's not so like in your face, but you clearly see it. That's the whole point, is like he wants to perform. He's got this itch, these songs he wants to get out, that he doesn't want to play with his brothers anymore, Again, like, not saying that the script probably isn't great, but at least it's hinting to some things. And I guess the larger point is like, almost like, why does this get a pass? Sorry, why does this get the flack? But yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody is like, Oscar contender.
Everyone hates that movie.
I agree, but like critically, and it just had a different feel than you're sensing from Michael. Like, what difference? The set designs are fantastic. The costumes, the performances, like how Antoine shot this it's truly remarkable. Like, this is not a fluff, phone it in type of movie. Like, there was a clear effort. I mean, Jaafar Jackson, again, say what you want about the subject matter, like that dude not only impersonated his uncle, but like there was like a real I felt something about his performance, kind of like Remy with Freddie Mercury. You know what I mean? Like he embodied Michael so well. I mean, eerily so well. There's something to be said about that. I think that's another reason why people are. Yes, it's nostalgia, right? Just like everything, we're living in nostalgia era, right? Like from Marvel movies to everything trying to be remade, the Stranger Things, everything's nostalgia based. It's like that secret sauce that you can itch, and like they know how to make a film that's going to get you to come back. Everyone wants to relive their childhood.
Yeah, and I
like
think
Michael.
There you go. And yeah, I hope the second movie is probably going to touch on that. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
What I will say is like, these kind of nostalgia-based musical biopics, they really, like, all they need to do numbers is a lead that looks enough and can perform well enough to soak you in to this guy if you love them, right? It's why, like, people that love Elvis love the Elvis biopic, right?
Yeah,
people that love Michael love this one.
But again,
it doesn't
Baz
make it a good movie.
Luhrmann, like even the Elton John movie, took a kind of a creative swing. Audiences didn't really show up for that so much. I know the Robbie Williams film bombed historically and had a cool angle with him being played by a monkey, but no one gave a shit. But plus, it's Robbie Williams. Like, he had one good hit, dude. Let's be honest, that we know. But this film was really like, this could have been disastrous. Like, I don't think just because it was Michael Jackson, people were showing up. I think it has this perfect sauce now for what this is, and I'm gonna say, like, I think biopics. It's hard to say this because, yes, it's technically a movie, right? And how do we define a movie? Is it because it's shot on a camera and edited in a certain format that makes it a film? But these are different. These are like an experience. It's a concert movie. It's like recreating. It's like a dramatization of like a docuseries. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it's evolving into the secret sauce formula that knows how to get people in the seats, right? And Antoine, whether he probably wanted to go deeper on the story, I know there were some rights issues and family pushing back, etc. But say what you want, like where this, I think, just goes to a different level than all the other musical biopics is the recreation of the concerts and the music videos that he did. I mean, frame for frame, like Thriller, like one-for-one comparison. Like his nephew, Jaafar, like just really like embodied this person that it was like hard not to watch the film for me. Like I was just so like, it had the secret sauce, and I think that's why it's really like catching fire all over the world.
Yeah, I think though what you're kind of saying of it as a film at least, like a great example, and it's something we've touched on before, is that, you know, like a lot of the great musical biopics generally deal with like the descent and the flaws and the humanity of the person. Like potentially my favorite movie of last year was Blue Moon.
Yeah.
Which again, like no one's going there to, you know, for like Hammerstein. You know, it's like you go for this character.
For the 2 hours though, I didn't see the film, but that was in the it's like a 1-for-1 2 hours of his life. So it's not really considered a biopic.
Well, no, it is. It's the depiction of
a moment of his life.
But like that's still a biopic.
I don't know. That's debatable. Like a biography is where the word bio comes from.
Yeah,
so,
but it's like depicted off a person and like a
I think it's using a real life person, but I don't know if that's considered a biopic. I would not say
it is. It's just not like a whole life spanning one. Like that's kind of what I'm saying. Is like the bad biopics are these Wikipedia pages covering every moment of a guy's life. That's boring.
I disagree. I don't think Blue Moon's a biopic. And I want people to hear, I don't think it is.
But like you're wrong, because it is a biopic.
But I don't think
it is a biographical picture, right? Like depicting this guy, right? Like
but you could say that about any real life person who lived that's in a film as a character. Is that considered
yes, those are biopics.
I don't know.
Oppenheimer, biopic.
But that expands more time. This is really interesting because I don't know if just because it's like a 2 hour in a person's life, is that considered a bio?
Well, if it's a story about a real guy that existed and the story's about his life and his experience, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's not even a debate. That's just what a biopic is.
Interesting.
But yeah, you don't, and again, that's what the theaters have done.
It doesn't have to go cradle to the grave. I agree with that. But I wonder, I'm going to look into this.
Yeah, I mean, like this is totally what that is.
That's fascinating if you really think about it, because I don't know any other. Can you give me another musical biopic where it's that short of time? I guess maybe you're right, because it is like about a decision, a moment in his life. I don't know. I'd have to really see it to comment on that, but it feels like a very uniquely styled biopic.
Exactly, which is like the interesting ones, at least for me, is like capture the essence of what makes this person, you know, interesting, and like kind of singular, where like maybe I don't need to know everything about them, like what matters.
But let's go to the musical biopics. So we're talking about character versus icon, person versus legend. I think what we're seeing now in the current musical biopics are we're seeing them, how they became famous, how they're legends. We're not really getting into the person, and I could see that change happening with Walk the Line. I think when that came out, I think it was 2004. It did every 10 minutes, had a song. The soundtrack was fantastic. It introduced a whole new generation. I remember, being in college and like I never really knew about Johnny Cash. That movie came out, blew my mind. Bought this, the soundtrack. It was amazing. But it was deep. It was dealing with his drug problem. It was dealing with the infidelity. Like it did go down it did scratch at more than scratch. It really dug at the character. But it had that, you could see the beginnings of that formula of every 10 minutes or so getting a hit song to get you in. But I could see that musical biopic change. But like Amadeus, not, I guess it's musical because we're seeing a lot of Mozart, but that's one of my favorite movies of all time. Character, going deep, right? I mean, what are some musical biopics that show the character besides Blue Moon to you and not the legend? Where do you see the old style?
Yeah, there's like, I think a great one to do is like, there's so many like Bob Dylan biopics. Like, again, like for me, the ones that kind of do it really well, like either kind of like subvert your expectation of like what to anticipate from this guy, like accentuate them. Like, again, it didn't do well, but like Better Man is like a good example of like a swing in a musical biopic that I think, again, like accentuate the character and like what's complicated and fascinating about like why do we all love this guy in like an intangible way instead of just showing a meteoric rise of a celebrity with a good soundtrack. So like, again, oddly enough, like there aren't that many of those that have done well, which is like, pretty devastating.
Because you need the hits, dude. You need the music.
You need the hits. And it's what kind of annoyed me about this movie a lot is like there was so much, I think it's mostly structurally, but like there's so much you could have done to just, like, you could have gotten rid of all the industry stuff, the Mike Myers character, the Miles Teller character, and you could have really just made this like a pretty searing family drama with the hits. Yeah, it's tough for me to just...
Mike Myers?
Yeah, he was in it.
What character was he?
He was the...
No, don't tell me he was the head of the...
The head of MTV or whatever, right? CBS.
That was Mike Myers?
Yeah.
No.
Are you kidding me? Of course. Yeah, it was like so clearly Mike Myers.
That's fucking awesome.
You didn't realize that?
No, I was so engrossed in the movie.
That's hilarious. You're like, oh, I know this.
I was like, this actor's fantastic.
This is Kip Richards from CBS Music.
My gosh.
Yeah, no.
Like Austin Powers, Mike Myers.
Yes.
God, that guy's a chameleon.
No, he's not. He looked so...
No,
I was like...
no,
like, people laughed when he came on. Like, the whole theater was laughing. Like, look at Mike Myers.
I was like, where is this guy? I know this actor from. I was so engrossed.
You were so engrossed with... Again, I was. But it's the formula
and
works.
You didn't have fun with it.
Not really.
Now,
I mean, no.
Does his personal life, did that affect you, honestly?
Yeah, it was kind of gross how they kept... Again, like... And it's part of the reason why these like big musical biopics rarely feel like great portrayals of the like these characters, these people, is because like again the estates of these artists like want sanitized versions largely of who these people are. So again, like it was kind of weird to me that like, and again people are like, oh, they'll touch on it in the next movie, but you're going to have,
But it does end before the allegations, before that stuff happened.
Of course, but
so
like
you got to view the film in that box.
Yes, but at the same time, it's like you're dealing with the most famous guy ever who, like, again, dealt with what being famous in like the back half of the 20th century in such a...
Of course it could have
Like, you didn't play on any of it. It's like he gets a nose job and it's like... Ooh, cool, man.
But that's interesting because
like,
I think you're in a lot of where people who didn't like the movie, you're in this box of like what you would have done to make it quote unquote better.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I do that all the time. Mm-hmm. But it really got me thinking about movies in general watching this film because I'm like, what is a good movie, right? Like, it's really hard to quantify that and to say, because we're going just based on the 3-act structure that Aristotle talked about. Like, what is it? The framing of the camera? Is it the like? What makes what makes a good movie? Is the performance? Or is a movie to entertain, which is another argument you hear all the time in the cinephile circles, right? Like, art versus entertainment, whatever. And I gotta say, like, what this movie did so well is entertain me. It just did. Whether it's a concert experience, forget about me loving Michael Jackson as a kid. No, I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
Like I love the music, but
Yeah.
it was more than that for me. Like honestly, it was just fun. It was fun, and I think that's the problem. Is like most movies now want to go deep into political machinations or like viewpoints, and I think sometimes we lose sight what made Maverick so good.
You tell me, man.
See, but that's my point. That's my point right there. It was fucking fun.
No, yeah,
but like you hated Maverick.
No, I didn't hate. It was again. It was
but
just,
that's my point. Is like no, but you are. So I have a buddy named Mike Stone that we always talk movies about. You know Mikey.
Yeah.
What you are acting like is how I act to Mikey. I'm like, oh, that movie sucked, blah, blah, blah. And he's always in my fucking ear telling me, dude, movies supposed to have fun. And like, I kind of get it now.
But I didn't have fun. And here's the thing.
But why?
I just think it's funny that you want to love this movie so much.
No, I don't want to love it. I do.
That when I'm like, John, why is it good? You start saying, but what even is a movie?
No, I'm telling you why it's good. I'm telling you why it's good.
Because it's fun.
The performances were outstanding. Like, dude,
they were outstanding? I thought Jaafar Jackson was pretty good.
His dancing and singing and anything to do with that side was outstanding. Colman Domingo was...
he's great.
Chef's kiss, bro.
Have him play every character. CGI his face on everyone.
On everyone. But that's my point. Like, when you were showing what it was like for him to do Motown 25 or the Thriller music video or these concerts that he did with his brothers, like how well he became Michael and performed on stage that we saw on camera. Yeah, those performances it just blew me away. Like he figured out how to dance like arguably the greatest dancer like ever. Do you know what I mean? Entertainer from a pop perspective. So yes, that blew me away. Like it got into like when he's a kid and the abuse and what it was like. Like, I mean, dude, he got beat with a belt. I mean, like you're beating a kid on screen. Like, and that's the yelp from the boy like got to me. That was like a fucking real yelp, you know? So I know you're, but it is like, you know, you can sugarcoat that. I mean, walk the line. Do we see his brother get hacked up by a saw? No, you cut away from it. And you see the blood. You see the dude, the T-1000 crying over the fucking rag.
I'm not saying you need that. All I'm saying is that, again, I think it's fine to, you know, have fun. And like, I think largely the reason why they're, again, like what these kind of musical biopics that pander towards people that like love an artist to go see it, you know, 2-3 times. It's all about tapping you back into the zeitgeist of when you were like 12 years old. I think a big problem with this. I think
that's part of it. I don't think that's what it is.
You are a late millennial. Well, I'm like, you know, kind of mid-Gen Z. When I was a kid, like you guys grew up in reverence to Michael Jackson, right? When I was a kid, Michael Jackson was just like a South Park pedophile.
It was a joke. I get it.
Right? And like, again, I don't think all of that was specific to the back end of his, right? Like, he's one of the most
changed, dude. He got super weird.
No, of course, but he was one of the most scrutinized public figures in the history of the world. And it's like, it didn't really play with that in any way. It was
not
just
yet,
mediocre ascent.
But because he did have a mediocre ascent. He was in a child band that like dominated the airwaves, right? And like they talked about like Black Kids, you know, like it was first of its kind.
Yeah.
But none of that vocally, he had one of the best voices. Like people don't realize that about Michael Jackson is like he had amazing vocal range, amazing dancer, and then to go from that to then like to going off the wall to become a solo artist and blow up, and then obviously Thriller. It's like, yeah, but that's part of the process. That's why you can't do a 2-hour Michael Jackson movie. You need like 10 hours because his life was so multifaceted. And yes, would I love for them to go deep in the next one? Yeah, you gave me the fun one. Let's go deep and really show that side. I don't know if they will. But again, isolating it as a film, as an experience, it was top notch for like the experience of it. And I think that's really interesting because movies, quote unquote, are evolving. Like I think like they were seeing it in real time in the musical biopic. Like they've become a greatest hits, Wikipedia checklist of all the great moments. I didn't see is it Amy Black, who was the singer who died?
Oh, Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse. Biopic. I think they made one a few years ago, 2 years ago that came out. I don't know. Like, checklist of her life. It's interesting, like.
I hear you that.
But
again,
the estates
like,
now, the estates have a big, hold on that. You're never gonna get any big talent, famous in the Michael Jackson sphere. Like Britney Spears, when they do the biopic one day, we're never gonna go deep on it unless she decides to, because her estate, whether it's her or her relatives, are gonna always protect the image and the brand. Michael Jackson's a brand. He's the only artist now that has a top Billboard hit in 6 different decades. Because of the movie, like, I think Beat It rose to some top 10. I just read the other day. Like, there's a brand, and I recognize that. I really do. But, like, movies are evolving. Like, why do we always have to go deep? And I think that's your problem. Hold on. You don't know how to
Michael in 40X.
You don't know how to have fun at the movies.
I have a great time at the movies.
No, on those type of films, but, like, it's really interesting.
No, I get fun with a fun film, but this wasn't...
Name a fun film that you saw in the theater.
A fun film?
Give me something fun where it wasn't a great movie, but you just had fucking fun with it.
The new Yorma Taccone film. That's a whole bunch of fun. That's not a crazy film. It's like a kind of dumb comedy slasher. It's an absolute blast. I had a great time.
I'm talking about on the big scale of like a box, like again, like the Maverick level success. I feel like...
Oh, okay. Got you.
You push back, and I get it, because...
No, I used fun with all the Marvel movies.
I used to be you.
No, I've
evolved.
I have a great time with the Marvel movies.
Do you?
Yeah, of course I do.
You have so much fun.
And
you didn't like Maverick.
I don't like films
Shocking.
that are funded by the U.S. State Department.
Okay, so you have a political agenda. No, and that's good. I mean, look, everybody's different. I think that's what we're trying to get home here. It fucking doesn't matter whether you like Michael or not. Doesn't matter whether Danny can't have fun at the movies or I've learned to have fun. It doesn't matter anymore. The question is, it's your own experience, right? And I think like that's the beauty of cinema. Like you could support a film or not.
Yeah.
Clearly the people are supporting Michael. They're having fun, and that's great. And it doesn't mean that it has to be a great film, but people are having fun.
I'm so happy everyone's having fun.
They're having fun.
Happy you're having
Dude, the videos online about them young kids dancing like Michael, it's amazing. People like are very emotionally invested for some reason into this film. They're like defending it like tooth and nail. It's really fascinating. That's a whole other podcast of why people are doing that.
But it's like when the Taylor Swift okay, it is like when the Taylor Swift biopic comes out, right? And it's,
again,
she's going to be played by Dakota Fanning's daughter.
That's right.
Or maybe Vanessa Kirby.
The estate is going to get involved. I agree. I wish there was the ability to really examine these artists' lives, because Elvis Presley had sex with underage girls constantly.
Well,
like, Priscilla. I know that, but it's like brushed over. I think, Steven Tyler from Aerosmith was like married a 16-year-old. I mean, it's really interesting that we can't go deep on that stuff.
I have a biopic pitch I would love to tell you.
Tell me, pitch it.
It's pretty fucked up. But the idea is you find one of these, like, say like the next Justin Bieber, a 15-year-old kid that's under immense scrutiny and like...
That's a great future biopic.
But you make the biopic about him as an adult. And again, this, as I say, this sounds pretty horrible. But like you make a biopic about like a teenage superstar as an adult,
you have
while
to
they're still like 18 years old.
Yeah.
A depiction of who they might be.
That's fun. Or you just really fictionalize, you make you do Bustin' Jeeber, and you just make a film without,
Yeah, I wrote a biopic once.
I know.
It's the whole thing.
Yeah, you got stolen.
It got stolen, it's fine.
It's good. Lawsuit.
But
I guess what I want to send home to the screenwriters is examine these films, right? Yes, we can say Michael is not a perfect movie. We can agree on that.
I think it's perfect.
But look at it. What could we have done better given the... I think this is a great exercise for Michael. Because I read something about Spike Lee defending the film, like, the allegations don't start till, 88 after. Knowing that Antoine wanted to go in this time frame, how would you write this movie, right? How would you make this better within the constraints of the timeline that the director obviously wanted? Like, what would you do? What would you explore? I think these are really good... a screenwriter task you can do. And you don't have to go, if you can go deep and dark like Danny always loves, or you can go more fun and more like, exploratory of his life and maybe some angles that weren't there. But I think these are really good lessons because from a story perspective, it is light. I agree with you. Like, you could have gone deeper on a bunch of stuff. But it was fun.
And you know what also is a fun thing to think about is like, think about the biopic that you would defend as fiercely as John would Michael, right?
I will say I will defend my favorite besides Amadeus biopic, which I wouldn't. I'm talking about maybe the new wave. Is Walk the Line.
Walk the Line, so fun.
I fucking love that movie.
Yeah,
love that movie. I will defend that to the death. But that is, you do see. That is the new structure in the musical biopics. Because it is like every 10 minutes a song. It's kind of like, but they do it differently, like very well done. But I will defend that fiercely.
And there's like, Inside Llewyn Davis, which I think does a great job of blending a lot of music with, and again, it's not, it's like kind of.
Put me to sleep.
It's one of my least favorite Coen Brothers movies.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's supposed to be kind of like a loose Bob Dylan-esque guy in Greenwich Village.
Sure.
But I think that's a good formula for how to have like a really fun biopic that can still.
Well, it's about a struggling artist because Bob Dylan's at the end of that film.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. I think you should. What do you guys think of the biopic? Like, where's your temperature on everything? We'd love to hear from you. Hit us up in the comments, email us anywhere that we're Kinolime. Like, I really want to know. This is very divisive. I'm very happy for the box office. The box office is fucking back. What came out?
Box office is doing
Devil
really
Wears
good
Prada 2, bro.
That was like my big predictor.
That crushed this past weekend.
Actually, those were like our two big ones. That's like people think these are going to be big movies.
But
they're going to be even bigger.
But it's kind of good to see the box office is back.
It's kind of great.
People are showing up, and it's all because of Michael. No, I'm kidding.
And it's all because of Blue Heron, my favorite movie. I went to see that.
Oh yeah, how was it?
I mean, it's my favorite movie this year.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a movie about struggling.
I was gonna say depressed
Hungarian migrant family in Canada. Like, talk about fun.
If you guys need ever to liven up a party, Danny's the guy. Just not even bring. Just bring Danny. Hire Danny. He'll come to your house.
Projector. He
will bring your party fun to a level of unseen.
It's
never before seen.
So awful.
Yeah. Danny's actually you're a very optimistic, bright. I would say your aura is bright, but the films you're attracted to, it's really interesting.
I'm like a pretty okay party guest.
But that's the beauty of cinema. That's why I don't care anymore. Life is different. Like, just go enjoy cinema. Go to the movie. You like Michael? Great. Go fucking moonwalk in the aisle. I don't give a shit. Have fun.
Take out your phone.
I was, dude.
Watch YouTube.
My knee. I felt bad for the person next to me because I'm a drummer. I was just my whole time. My fucking knee was just going up and down, tapping. It was great.
Okay.
I was even doing the drums.
A biopic hasn't been made. Who do you want to see? What biopic would you like to write?
Yeah, I want to see the Nirvana biopic.
Yeah, that'd be
musical
great.
biopic. I want to see because that was. I mean, Kurt Cobain is one of the most interesting figures ever. Publicly, musically. There was a lot there, struggle with a lot. You go deep into that. It'd be fairly Wikipedia, though. Because, again, that's also another thing, is we know the lives of these artists so well. That's why when you bring up the Wikipedia argument, I get it. But we all know the beats. So I think we got to, find moments in that section.
A slice of life.
Not 2 hours, but something, maybe 2 hours. But I think it's interesting. But, or I don't know. It's really fascinating. But now you're going to see every major studio, which they already have, going after any musical property imaginable and going after it.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, the one I would love to see is
tell me what you would want to see.
Well, but again, this is what I'm saying is I think.
We want to see Nietzsche.
I would love to see Kobe Bryant, but it's just 2004. It is the most complicated, horrific year of his life.
That's fun.
Right? The party's over. It's that would be great. I would love to see a Paul Robeson biopic taking place during the 1950s.
Yeah, but musically.
I don't know. Paul Robeson is, he's one of the great academics, one of the first great American athletes, one of America's greatest singers, one of America's greatest actors ever, and he was destroyed in the 50s because of the blacklist, right? We haven't had a great Paul Robeson biopic. I would love to see the 50s through Paul Robeson's eyes.
What would you guys like to see as a musical biopic? That's another question. Hit us up in the comments what you would want to see. Maybe, who knows, in our next competition, someone will write a suggestion you put on there, and then we can get into a legal lawsuit over IP and
great idea.
Content creation. No,
Let's produce a film without any rights.
No, but we will. But we would love to
life.
know, what would you like to see if you can wave your magic wand? Because I'm in Disney mode with my daughter. Everything's about wands. What would you like to see as a musical biopic? And do you agree with us that the musical biopic is evolving? And are they considered even movies? Or are they just more fan experiences, etc.? But I had a blast seeing Michael.
He called me as he was getting out of the theater.
I did.
Jumping, you know.
I was. Because
it was great.
I
I'm
like
so
to go to the
happy for you.
theater and not be pontificated to on a certain political angle or this or that. I want to have fun. Or I want to see something, you know, that makes me feel human and get deep, but like it was just fun. That's why I really enjoyed Maverick. I can't even remember the last time I went to the movie and like had such a blast. Like when I watch the Dune movies, like I just want to jump off a bridge.
Yeah, I mean, like I hear you. I kind of do like being pontificated. Like I can't wait for like the Mel Gibson like super duper double movie epic Passion of Christ sequel. Like again, that theoretically on like every level should not be up my wheelhouse. I cannot wait. Like
the first movie was a masterpiece.
Of course, and like now, like I can't wait for it.
Say what you want about Mel Gibson, but that son of a bitch no story structure.
He does. He does.
You don't even know where that's from. South Park.
Yes, I do. Because you
South
said
Park.
before.
Imagination Land. All right, we're out of time, but this was so great chatting with you, Danny. I love that we were on opposite sides of the aisle here. But thank you for going to see and donating to the Michael Fund and getting those box office numbers a little bit higher because of your hard-earned money.
The estate needs it. You know, they need a couple more giraffes. They need better, like, what's it called? Reinforcements on, like, you know, balconies.
How good was the last question? Was the little boy who played Michael and the nephew?
I actually thought it was like kind of it felt like a Hallmark performance.
Both of them. The little boy too.
Totally.
He's got no heart.
Zapped me out of it.
Zero heart. John from Kinolime, Danny over here. See ya. Or hee. Every year we run a feature film competition, and right now the Kinolime community just voted from 26 down to 10, all because of your vote. Now this is where Kinolime gets the ball back. We get to internally debate every single screenplay in the top 10. Tune into Kinolime.com. Check out the voting process as this is going live, and on May 18th, that's when your chances to vote. Out of the top 3, you get to make your vote for the next movie that Kinolime is going to make